Customizing your website, whether you are building a custom site or using a template, really helps you stand out from those in your industry, those that your clients might be looking at as well as you. And one of the best ways to do that is to call out specific pieces of text throughout your copy. Now, we've seen this done a lot, and a lot of times what people run into is using multiple text boxes to actually accomplish this. So say you want a different color font, or you want one to be one style and another word to be another style, and now you're piecing together boxes. It might look okay, but on the back end, SEO wise, screen readers, it's going to cause some issues having so many text boxes where you don't have complete thoughts. Now, the great thing is it's actually really quick and easy in Showit to create this mixed text look with just a tiny bit of code that's actually super, super easy to use. So in today's video, I'm going to break down how to actually do this mixed text in 3 ways. So we're going to have just changing the font, just changing the color, and then changing the color and the font. So whatever you're looking for, you can add that little bit of spice, that little bit of customization, and call out important things in your copy. The first thing that you'll want to start with is just adding a regular text box with your text. So we have a normal text box, we have heading here. We want to call out the words call out. So these are the 2 words that we're going to do in the different styles. We'll change just the font, we'll change just the color, and then we'll change the font and the color. So starting off with just the font. The first thing you're going to want to know is what the fonts are called in your actual design setting. So right now we have perfectly 90s italic or regular. I want to make it perfectly 90s italic. So I want these 2 words to be italicized. So we need to write exactly perfectly 90s italic in the code that we're going to use in order for that to show up correctly. So just make sure you check that before, especially with custom fonts where you can write whatever the font name is, that you're using the right font name. So now that we have the text here, I'm going to hold down Option and double click on the box. And now we have this Edit HTML box. So I'm going to come up here to where it says call out. I'm going to do an open caret, and then I'm going to write font face equals, I'm going to start a quotation, and then I'm going to write my font name. So we got perfectly 90s italic. I'm going to do a closing quotation, and then I'm going to do a closing caret. So now you'll see this is highlighted, so this is its own piece. Now, we can highlight as many words as we want in whatever way. So whether it's the text, the colors, both, anything. So we can put our end code here anywhere. We want just these 2 words. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do another open caret. I'm going to say backslash font close caret. So now this is saying that these 2 words are the only words that we want this font to be changed. I can take this whole piece of the code and I can do it on every other word if I want to, but we just want these 2 words. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then you'll notice these 2 words are italicized. Now, one thing to keep in mind, which is super, super important, is in order for this to show up correctly on the actual site, you need to make sure that both fonts are on the page. So if I come to the preview right now, it is not actually going to show the italicized font because I don't have an italicized font on the page. So we see it's just the generic font because it doesn't know what to pull. Now, if I come here, I copy this text box, and let's say I move it to italic. So we have the italic font here, and now I preview it. We are going to get it because it has the font to actually pull from. So this is something that's really important. You want to make sure that any page you're doing this on, you have both fonts so it can actually pull the correct font. Now, my suggestion is if you are going to do this on multiple pages or all of the pages on your site, having one of the fonts that you want in something like your navigation, your footer, anything like that, so it's inherently on the page, makes this a lot easier. Otherwise, you just want to make sure throughout the page you have one text box. For example, for us, we'd have one text box that's regular, one text box that is italic, and we can just play around with which words we call out in what fonts to make them show up correctly. But that is how you're going to do the font itself. Now, if we wanted to come in here and say, instead of this being in a different font, we want it in a different color, we can do one other thing. So I'm going to say, I want the words to be in this light blue. So I'm going to come over here first. I'm going to grab the hex code for this light blue. Then I'm going to open the box back up. And instead of starting with font, we're going to do span. So we have span, style. We have the same equals, the quotation, and then I'm going to say color, colon. I'm going to do the hex code. Then I'm going to do the same closing. I'm going to come over here to call out, and then I'm going to end it with span. So now if I hit save, we have these in the blue color, the light blue color. So we can do that again. We can make every other word a different color, anything like that. We can repeat that as many times as we want, but that is how you can do the colors for it. So whether you want multiple colors, we can have each word a different color in the entire sentence, anything like that. But that's how we're going to do colors. Now say we want this to be light blue and we want it to be in the italic font. We're going to keep the span style. So this will allow us to change so many different things about this. So at the end of this color, I'm going to do a semicolon, and then I'm going to say font family. And then I'm going to put perfectly 90s italic. Now if I hit save, we have both. So this is really great if you want to change a lot of things on it. I can come in here and I can change it to uppercase. So text transform allows you to transform what the text is. So I can say uppercase. Now it's all uppercase. If you have maybe your font is defaulted to uppercase, especially if you're working with like subheadings, those might, tend to be uppercase to begin with. We can come down here and say normal to make it lowercase, anything like that. So this span style one gives you a lot of options and you can kind of customize anything you want. We can even customize the size. So we can say font size. Let's say we make this one 15 point, just so we can see the difference. Now it's tiny, right? So there's a bunch of different things that you can change with this. Again, regardless of if you are using just the different font or you're doing the different font with other things, we want to make sure that we have the italicized font somewhere on the page to make sure that it pulls correctly. But you're able to change a lot of things. So this is really, really cool. It gives you a lot of options for calling things out without having to have those multiple text boxes. So it makes it great for SEO. Everything is able to be read properly by screen readers, but you can still call things out and have those specific words highlighted that you want highlighted. Hopefully this helps you as you customize your site and make it stand out and truly one of a kind. In the description below, you can find the codes for everything that I talked about. You'll just want to make sure you change out either the font, the color, the words in between that you want transformed, anything like that. But you'll find those down below. If you have any questions, be sure to drop a comment. We'll definitely help out. But we're excited to see what you do with this. And as always, if you found this helpful, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.